We're all sold this idea that the 9 to 5 life is the straight and narrow path to success. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a dark side to that path that nobody ever talks about? A side that once you see it, you can't unsee. So let's just jump right in with the big provocative question, shall we? What if this whole system, the one we're all pushed into, was never actually built to give you freedom? What if that was never the goal at all? From the moment you get that diploma, the story is pretty clear, right? They sell you the first part of the dream, stability, this idea of a steady, predictable road ahead. And then, right after that, comes the promise of security, the idea that if you just play by the rules, you'll have this little safety bubble around you, protecting you from the big, scary world. And of course, the grand finale, a comfortable future, the ultimate reward for decades of hard work. But what if all these promises are just a smokescreen for what's really going on? All right, so let's really dig into this promise, because let's be honest, it's not sold to us as just one of many options, is it? No, it's framed as the only responsible adult choice you can make. The blueprint they give us is almost laughably simple. Study up, land a job, clock in from 9 to 5, and then just hit the repeat button for 40 years. They present this like it's some flawless, guaranteed formula for a good life. And this whole thing feels so normal, mainly because almost everyone we know is doing it too. It feels safe. It feels responsible. But here's the hook, and this is so important. Just because something is considered normal, that doesn't mean it's good for you. It certainly doesn't mean it's harmless. Okay, let's pull back the first curtain and reveal the first hidden cost. And it's a big one. It's all about the one asset in your life you can spend but can never, ever earn back: your time. This is where we need a major mindset shift. We think we're getting paid for our skills, for our expertise. But that's not the real transaction. The fundamental trade of the 9 to 5 is that you are selling hours of your life. You're trading away your time. And just stop for a second and think about the sheer amount of time we're talking about. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It adds up. It becomes the majority of your waking hours for the best years of your life, all poured into this one single trade. And this really shows you the gamble you're making. The promise is so tempting. Work now, live later. Put in the time and you'll get your freedom. Someday. But the truth is a lot harsher. The freedom you delay might be a freedom that never comes. Now, trading away all that time has a direct consequence. It leads us to the next hidden cost, which is the incredible toll it takes on us as people. This is about what happens when exhaustion becomes your new normal. Does this sound familiar to you? Being constantly tired is just how it is? Feeling stressed out all the time is just part of the job. And your entire existence revolves around making it to the weekend. This isn't life, but for so many, it becomes the accepted reality. And here is the quiet, almost sinister genius of the system. A tired mind doesn't have the energy to fight back. When you are constantly drained just trying to get through the day, you don't have the capacity to stop and question the very thing that's draining you. Over the years, something else happens too. The system can start to shrink you. You start out as this person full of passions and ideas and curiosity, but after a decade or two in the grind, who are you? For a lot of people, the answer simply becomes their job title. And that right there, that's the core of it. That's why so many people, even with a great salary and a good job, just feel empty inside. It's the bill for that trade-off finally coming due and showing up in your soul. So now let's zoom the camera all the way out. Let's look at the bigger picture, the architecture of the whole system. Because this isn't about your specific job, it's about the very design of the 9 to 5 world. The entire structure is built on a single, powerful foundation: a predictable routine. Wake up, commute, work, sleep, over and over and over again. This endless loop creates a predictable workforce. So why is predictability so important? Well, it's simple. People who are stuck in a routine are easy to manage, they're easy to replace, and ultimately, they're easy to control. And you have to realize, this is not a mistake. It is not an accident. It's a feature, not a bug. It's all by design. And this brings us to a huge, critical difference in words that we always get mixed up. We confuse stability with security, but they are not the same thing. Stability is getting a paycheck from someone else. True security is having control over your own life.
Because that stability we crave is so fragile. It can all be taken away in a second. One single decision made in a room you're not in, one email, one short meeting, and that stable job can just vanish.
So, after all that, where does that leave us? The goal here isn't to say the 9 to 5 is evil. Not at all. The goal is to strip it down and see it for exactly what it is, a trade-off, a conscious choice you make with clear costs and clear benefits.
And here it is, the whole deal laid out on the table. What you give is your time, your control, and often your passions. What you get in return is money, comfort, and predictability. That's the transaction. It's not good or bad, it just is. Look, the 9 to 5 might not be freedom, but it is a choice. And now you know the real terms of the deal. You understand the hidden costs. You see the whole truth of the trade. So the only question left is the one only you can answer. Now that you know, what are you going to do with it?